This is my entire content system. I know it doesn't look that complicated, and that's the whole point. I just type one sentence, like draft me a reel about the future of AI in 2026, and Claude researches the topic, writes the hook, the script, and the caption all in my voice. And today I'm going to show you exactly how to build this in the next 10 minutes. There are actually two ways you can do this. One is free if you don't want to pay for Claude. Another one is what I use myself, but it does require a pro subscription. Either way, by the end of this video, you'll know which one you need, and you'll have your own version running today. Most people use Claude or any other AI wrong when it comes to writing scripts. They open a new chat, type a vague idea, and get a generic AI sounding script back, and think AI sucks for writing. But the only reason it sucks is that AI has no context. And a good content system isn't just one prompt fix all, it's a brain that you build once which knows who you are, who watches you, what works in your niche, and what works for you. And AI like Claude will pull from that brain every time you ask to draft something. And that's the difference between AI sounding slop and AI that actually sounds like you. I'll start with the free Claude Projects. Go to claude.ai, and if you don't have an account, register. It's free. On the sidebar, click Projects. This might be empty, or you already have some projects. Doesn't really matter. Click New Projects, and name it something like Content System. Description, you can add whatever you want, but it doesn't really change anything. Create New Project. And inside the project, you will see two things that matter. Files on the right and instructions above it. That's all we're going to care about. Our three files that we're about to make will go into files, and our instructions will go into this instruction box. That's all four things in total. First file is going to be about me. Go to Google Docs or any other text editor, click on a blank document, and we're going to name this document called about me. In this document, we're going to talk about a few things. I already made my one up, so the few things are about me, which is pretty much a brief context who you are. I just said my name and what I do. The second one is my positioning, or what do I actually do, what do I sell, and what your niche is, what your content should feel like. This is what your voice is, and what my audience wants. This is your ICP. Like, what does your ICP really want? So once you write this down, it should only take half a page. You can go more in depth. The idea is just to give Claude enough information to know which angles to take your scripts. So once you're done with that, you can copy mine or you make your one up. Go to File, Download as a Markdown, save it onto your computer, and we are done. File number 2 is going to be the best content. This is going to be the brain of our system. Find 20 videos in your niche that work. Like, they got high views, high saves, and went viral. The way I like to think about it is like the videos I wish I've made. For each one of them, write 3 things: the hook, the transcript, and why it worked. You can use free online tools to transcribe those videos. There are heaps of them out there, just Google it. But let me know in the comments if you want me to make a separate video on how I transcribe videos locally for free and super easy to set up. The third part, which is why it worked, is the magic. And a lot of people tend to skip it because it takes a bit of time to set it up. But don't skip it, because that's where 80% of the quality comes from. It only takes 20 minutes to set up, because Claude can read 20 transcripts, but it can't figure out why they work or why they went viral. So you have to kind of teach Claude how to see the patterns. And if you want a head start, I already made a file with all the 20 reels that went viral. The link will be in the description. So once you set up your file, you're going to do the same thing. You're going to download as a markdown file and save it into the folder. And file 3 is your content, same format as file 2, but with your own post. So I'm going to name the file my content, and I already prepared a file for us to look at. If you never posted, this file is going to be empty, and that's fine, because make the file anyway, leave it blank, and you'll fill it in as you start posting more content. If you posted before, drop in your last 10 to 20 pieces of content. In my case, those are 18 pieces of reels that I've made. For each one of them, I defined the hook, the script, and why it worked. I also went more in depth with it. I defined a genre, and I added a caption and on-screen text hook, as well as performance. And this is the file that makes the system stop sounding like a generic AI. It sounds like you, because it has your voice, the way you write, all in this file. It will take 10 to 20 minutes to set it up. If you don't have your scripts, use the online tools you used for file 2 to transcribe them, and just make sure this file is in depth, because this is your voice. And once you're happy with it, click File, Download as Markdown, and save it on your desktop. And the last piece are the custom instructions. So I already prepared a list of them. Essentially, we're going to be teaching Claude how to use the files we just uploaded. We can copy this entire thing. We go into our content system project and instruction, paste that all in. We're going to save these instructions, and now we're going to upload the files we just saved. So those are the 3 files. I'm going to just open them. And now our content system is ready to be tested. Draft me a reel about to advertise. It read all the content from all the folders, and based on the best content patterns, it's suggesting me angles. I kind of like angle 2. I'm gonna say I like angle 2. Let's go with this one. So now I've confirmed the angle. I could go back and forth with it, but I confirmed the angle. I like this. Sounds pretty cool. Now it's gonna draft me a hook, a script, and a caption to go with it. So this is how it works in Claude Projects. So now I'm going to show you how to set this up in Claude Cowork. And this method is not only limited to Claude, you can also set this up in ChatGPT projects or OpenAI Codex, because it's just a simple file structure, and we can take this structure anywhere and use any AI we want. So why does Cowork beats projects for a content brain? The main problem with projects is that once you upload the files, those 3 files, they go stale after a few weeks. Meaning that if you post a new reel, you'll have to download your reels or your content, edit the file manually to add a new reel, and upload them back into Claude Projects. So every time you find a new viral reel, you have to manually re-upload the data. So you manually have to fix the files. The thing with Cowork is that the files live on your computer. Claude has direct access to write them, edit them. So you can pretty much just tell Claude, hey, I posted a new reel, or I found a new reel in your niche. Can you please add them to my files? And the Cowork goes to your file system and edits them individually, so you'll never have to touch the files yourself. And that's the whole beauty of self-evolving system, because you can make more files, like a feedback file, and be like, hey, I didn't like these type of hooks, add them to my feedback. So you can literally talk to Claude like your content writer. So let's get into how to do this in Claude Cowork. So Claude Cowork will use the same files we just created earlier for our projects, which is about me, bestcontent.md, and mycontent.md. But the only thing that is Claude Cowork works on the desktop app only. So go to claude.com/download and download app on your desktop. Once you downloaded the app, you will log in, and you see on the sidebar we have 3 tabs: Chat, Cowork, and Code. Click on the Cowork, and this is the space you're going to be working with. We just have to make a new folder on our computer called Content System Cowork, or name it whatever you want, it doesn't really matter. So all the files we downloaded earlier, we're going to put them all in our folder. Just going to show you all 3 files are in there. In our Cowork, you're going to click Work in the Project, Projects, and create a new project. In here, click on Using Existing Folder, and we're going to select the folder we just created. Content System Cowork. Open this folder. I'm going to name mine Content Engine, because now it's no longer stale, it's a self-evolving live system. We don't have to add any files. We'll add instructions later. Click Create. Now we create our personal co-working space. So if you look at the context, click on the Content System Cowork folder, you'll see our 3 files in there. We're almost ready to test the system. One thing we should add are instructions. So click on the instruction box at the top. The custom instruction we paste into project, we're going to be pasting them into our Claude Cowork instructions. Looks good. I'm going to click Save. And now I'm going to show you the true power of the self-evolving loop. So let's say I found a viral video that I want to add to my best content. So this is the video I found from one of the creators. I got the URL and I got the script. So if I go back into Cowork, I paste that in. I said I found a viral reel that I want to add to my best content. Here's the URL and script. I paste them in. And I said, can you follow the format of the bestcontent.md and analyze it, add it in there? I'm just going to click Send. As you can see, it found the correct file. It said, oh, the hook isn't a question of controversy, it's the format itself. So it's going to edit our file for us and give us the full preview of what it's going to look like. And it's give us the final file. So you can just click on this, and in the side tab, we'll see our entire file. So I only had 20 files, and now I added 21st, even found the formula, the URL, transcript, hook, why it worked. You can do this with your own reels. You can do this viral reels. You just tell Cowork what you want it to do, and it'll just figure out everything else. But the cool thing about Cowork is that you can also schedule things to do. So let's, for example, let's say every Sunday, I want you to come up with a list of ideas for my content. That's all I'm gonna say. So now it will create a schedule that every Sunday, it will give me a list of ideas based on less content, my content, about me. So now it asks me a question, how many ideas do you want each Sunday? So it's very smart, and it will ask you questions to clarify. So it asks me, do I want this every Sunday at 9 a.m.? I say yes, create a task, and it'll be in that folder that we created on the ideas, Sunday, and a date. So if I look at the schedule, I'll see that every Sunday I'll have content ideas brought to me. If you want to keep chatting with it, it will be in the projects under content engine, and you can ask to draft the reel exactly how we did in projects. And one more thing we can add to this system to take it to the next level is a feedback loop. So I'm going to tell my content engine, create a new file called feedbacklog.md, where you will store all my feedback on the content so we can fine tune the system to my voice and my preferences. And while it's doing that, I'm also going to edit the instructions. So it's just teaching Claude what needs to be done. We've created my feedback log.md. So if you go back into the content engine project, you'll see that we have a new file. So I'm going to go back to instructions and add this in when I push back line. So now we can draft a reel and test this feedback log. So I'm going to ask, draft me a reel about AI agents in 2027. Very vague idea, but let's see how this works. Okay, so it gave me 4 angles I can choose from. Let's say I like the angle 1. Draft me a script with angle 1. Okay, so now it generated me entire hook and script and caption. So for example, if I don't like in this line, it's a solo operator with 50 agents, I can say, I don't like that you used the word solo operator as my ICP, big enterprise teams. So as you can see, it figured out that it needs to log that as a feedback, and it edited the script based on what I said. And here's the new script. So if you look back into the file feedback.md, you can see that I don't like the use word of solo operator. So from now on, every time it looks at this, generates the scripts, it will look at this feedback.log.md, and it'll figure out that, aha, hey, he doesn't like solo operators wording, he's focused more on enterprise. It'll include that into the script. And that's the part that projects literally cannot do. You can start adding more files, more preference. It's the system built for you, so you can customize it however you want. So, and the more you train this, the more feedback you give, the more examples you give, the more you fine tune it, the smarter it gets, and the more it sounds like you. I actually use this system myself, and this script that I wrote for this video is also using this system. This is the part I love the most about building this way. The whole system is just few text files, which means you're not logged into Claude. You can drop exact same files into ChatGPT, into Codex, into Gemini, into wherever AI shows up next and beats them all. You build the system once, and the system is yours. And the AI is just the engine. That's why I built this way from day one. Because AI space moves so fast that last year I was using something else. Next year will be something else entirely. But your taste, your audience, the patterns that work for you and your niche, they don't change. And if you want my starter pack of the 20 best viral reels that I found, instead of going out and doing it yourself, I post them all in my community, along with all the files we talked about today. And if you found this video helpful, hit the subscribe button. I post videos like this every week. See you in the next one.